So how fitness really helped me to stop drinking, and can it help you? And that's a real question you have to ask yourself. That's if you think drinking is a problem in the first place, and if you think it's getting in the way of helping you progress, become more of who you want to become, becoming better, happier, and progressing in life. For me, it was. And first off, I want to attribute to the fact that I believe that there's something bigger or beyond myself out there as a human being that helped me see my true self-worth, which got me involved in the process of healing through fitness to begin with. But lifting was really where I started to experience it and see it firsthand. I had to actually go through a physical change first to really understand it and comprehend it. You see, I used to drink daily and get drunk on the weekends. And I know a lot of people do that, and some may think, well, what's the real problem with that, Ray? You know, and to some people it probably isn't. But for me, it was the reason why I was doing it. I was drinking most of the time to escape from the reality at hand of which I needed to face, that I didn't want to accept. The fact that I had been through multiple failed marriages, multiple failed businesses, was terrible with money and homeless. That was hard to face. I didn't want to face that because that hurt. But I knew at the same time, the way you get past that is by facing those head on, taking responsibility for them and moving forward. But I was filled with so much shame and a belief that I didn't deserve anything good and I wasn't capable of changing. Partly due to the culture in which I was raised in through conditioning and what I chose to allow to adapt into myself because of that culture to be true that wasn't. But once I started lifting, I started noticing something right away. I started feeling a lot healthier from the get-go. And I started feeling a lot more confident about myself. And when I would go back to try and drink, I couldn't tolerate it. I would get sick, I couldn't function. Things just weren't the same. It didn't taste the same way, and I didn't enjoy it at all. So, and eventually it took some time, but eventually I stopped doing it altogether because it didn't add to who I wanted to be or my sense of self. Now, I'm not knocking drinking per se, because there's plenty of people that do it and there's nothing wrong with it. What I am knocking is things that can be used as a crutch to escape from the reality in which we need to face to grow. And that could be anything. It could be drinking, it could be drugs, it could be sex, it could be porn, it could be work, the gym even, and even church. And yes, I did say church. But what I noticed as I continued to go through this process, I felt a sense of self and a sense of being. And I started to challenge these old ideas and old beliefs, and I started to have the courage, start facing the facts, and start facing these facts, going against it, and using that to push through it and help me become better instead of hiding from it and being afraid of it. You see, there's a saying amongst the people that I work with, and it's not something I can take credit for. I didn't create it, but I do believe it, and that is this. That how you do one thing is how you do all things, right? How you do one thing in one area bleeds through into other areas of life. So you don't have to be perfect in order to start establishing your self-worth in everything. Just start with one thing. Get that down, and then eventually you'll notice it starts to bleed into all other areas. And it may not be too long after that you start to realize that the life in which you're wanting to live may start to manifest itself because of the work you're putting in. But taking it one step at a time and to stop going after this idea of perfection. So if you want to see a change in your life, you want to stop something that's hurting you, start facing the facts, start looking at the reason why you're doing this. Is it because you're trying to hide from reality? Or is it helping you build you up to push through whatever the pain is that you're trying to hide from? If it isn't helping build you up and push you through it, stop doing it. And start in just one area. And one area I suggest to start doing that today, start with exercise. Get off your ass, get in the gym, and start proving to yourself that you're stronger than you really think you are, because you are. Now, if you found this video helpful and effective, please share it with somebody you know that could use it. And remember this, that you are worth it. You just need to believe it and prove to yourself that you are, nobody else. So believe it and defy the odds.